I was able to walk away from that. That, to me, is the craziest thing.
A Seattle man is thankful to be alive after a tree came crashing down in his car during Tuesday night's storm. Tonight, he's sharing his story with King 5.
And today brought mostly dry conditions, but we have a better shot at some rain for tomorrow. We'll show you who and when we'll see some rain moving in your first alert forecast.
This is really a sad situation. We're trying to help families.
A Renton nonprofit is disheartened after thieves stole their truck and totaled it. They tell King 5 it's not the first they've had to deal with a setback like this. Also, campaign signs are ending up in the landfill after the general election. How a Seattle-based company is helping reduce waste at no cost. We begin tonight with breaking news happening in Spanaway, where Pacific Avenue is now shut down while deputies investigate this crash. State troopers say it started when they tried to pull over a speeding driver. They say the driver sped off before losing control and hitting a Ford truck. A passenger in the suspect's car died. The driver of the truck was badly hurt. The suspect was taken to the hospital and will be booked into jail for second-degree murder once they are released. Right now, Pacific Avenue is closed at 180th Street. There's no estimated reopening time. We'll keep you updated. Crews have made major progress tonight as they work to restore power 5 days after a deadly windstorm hit the region. Thanks for joining us for this special edition of King 5 News. I'm Madison Wade. Puget Sound Energy tells King 5 90% of customers are now back online. Let's take a look now at their outage map. At the storm's peak, 600,000 people were in the dark. Tonight, that number is down to less than 60,000. The utility expects the remaining outages to be resolved by 10 a.m. on Monday. Tonight, we're getting a closer look at what crews have been up against this week. While it may feel like slow going for people waiting to have their power restored, the process to repair down lines safely is a lot more complicated than some might think.
It can take 4, 5, 6 hours for crews to cut trees just to get access. And then the repairs on the lines are significant. A job can take, 12 hours, 14 hours for just one location.
Puget Sound Energy says more than 150 of its crews are working today to restore power. The utility says there are still almost 900 locations with damage. New tonight, a UW student is sharing his story after a tree came crashing down on his car while he was driving home. This all happened on Tuesday evening near the intersection of 35th Avenue and 100th, just as the winds in our area was really starting to pick up. King 5's Bridget Chavez has the details.
I can't even believe I walked away from that.
And without a scratch.
In fact, these are the same glasses I was wearing.
Tyson Ramirez was driving home Tuesday night when this tree was uprooted and fell right on top of his car.
I kind of just slumped back in my chair, in my seat a little bit, bracing for impact, and sure enough, the tree crashes. I tried to open my driver's side door, no use. The tree was totally horizontal on my car, pinning both the driver's side and the passenger side door, and I was stuck.
Ramirez says bystanders came over to check on him and called 911. One of them even took photos for him while they waited for help to arrive.
She said, well, do you want me to take your picture? Because, and her reasoning, she said, well, you might never get to see this angle again. So at first it threw me off, but then she was right. It was really a lot of shock, but also even in the moment, even as I was trapped, a bit of gratefulness.
Ramirez says he was pinned in the car for about 90 minutes before firefighters were able to get him to safety where his parents were waiting.
And once I was pulled out, I gave them the tightest hug. I was so thankful to go home that night.
His mom grateful her son walked away unscathed.
I like happy endings.
Heck, everybody was okay.
A giant hole in crime tape have replaced the giant tree that fell on Ramirez's car. He says he still can't believe it happened.
You see it in TV shows, you see it in movies, but you never expect this to happen in real life.
Calling it nothing short of a miracle.
Whether it be angels, whether it be God, the amazing firefighters at Squad 31, I was really blessed that night.
In Seattle, Bridget Chavez, King 5 News.
Remarkable, and thank goodness he is okay. Right now, the governor's office says it's getting questions about the state's response to Tuesday's windstorm. So here's a refresher on how that works. Washington is what is called a home rule state. That means disaster responses start at the local level. We've already seen several cities and counties, including Redmond and Snohomish County, sign off on their own disaster declarations this week. Once local jurisdictions are out of resources, they can call on the state to step in. At this point, the state says it has not received any requests for help or for the National Guard aid. As for federal help, it's still too early to tell if the state meets the threshold for FEMA assistance. Much of the damage was done to private infrastructure, including equipment owned by Puget Sound Energy. For people that need a place to stay, the city of Seattle teamed up with the American Red Cross to open an overnight shelter in the Central District. The Garfield Community Center is the only overnight shelter to open since Tuesday's storm. Services include showers, sleeping cots, and meals.
I just love being a part of a team that we can provide these services to our community, and I'm a part of the community, and so it's just really special to be able to step up in a time of need.
Seattle City Light has restored power to almost all customers. About 600 are still in the dark. According to its website, most of the remaining outages should be resolved by tonight. For a full list of shelters open across King County, just text the word shelter to 206-448-4545. We'll send you the link with locations and hours right to you. Right now, an animal rescue in Monroe is struggling to recover from Tuesday's storm. Pasado's Safe Haven expects cleanup to cost more than $14,000. You can see much of the damage in the photos that they shared right here. The rescue says all of its animals are safe. The sanctuary says some of the power has come back and they hope to have it fully restored at some point tonight. If you want to help out, the rescue is accepting donations on its website. Let's take a live look out towards Lake Washington. While it's a lot calmer tonight, we are still seeing some breezy, raining conditions in our region. Meteorologist Leah Pizzetti is tracking the forecast for us tonight, Leah.
Hey, Madison. Yeah, around the sound, we've been pretty quiet, but we do still have some showers sticking around in some areas. They're mostly isolated to the Olympic Peninsula, but as we head into tomorrow, we're going to push more rain chances in for more of us, especially around Puget Sound. So let's take a look at our totals so far observed today. Most of it has stayed over the Olympic Peninsula. Quileute, Hoquiam, about a quarter of an inch of rain, but around the sound, we're next to nothing. Bellingham got 1/100th of an inch of rain. Satellite and radar shows that we see that rain mostly over the Olympic Peninsula right now. Taking a closer look, and it is closer to the coast and over mountains as well over the Olympics. But as we take a wide look at our watches, warnings, and advisories, this is great news here. Really, all we have is this small craft advisory, a welcome break after the very active weather week that we have had. As we look forward into tonight, we're going to push more showers up into western Washington, hitting the sound overnight tonight. Then as we progress through tomorrow into Monday morning as well, we're going to keep some spotty showers in the forecast. I'll have that hour-by-hour look in just a bit.
Leah, thank you. A 21-year-old man is in serious condition after police say that he was shot at least 6 times in Seattle's South Park neighborhood. It happened around 8 p.m. last night near South Henderson Street and 14th Avenue. Police say the man was shot in his torso, arm, neck, and face. Tonight, no arrests have been made. In West Queen Anne, a 41-year-old man was killed in an overnight crash. It happened just before 3 in the morning near Elliott Avenue West and West Gaylor Street. Police say the driver was speeding southbound on 15th Avenue when he lost control, hit a parked car, then crashed into a concrete building. No one else was hurt. If you saw what happened, you're asked to reach out to Seattle PD. A Renton nonprofit dedicated to helping families experiencing homelessness is now facing a tough situation tonight. They are out thousands of dollars after they say thieves stole their pickup truck, used it for a series of crimes, and then they totaled it. King 5's Brady Wakayama has the details.
This truck represents hope for families that are coming out of homelessness.
But now this symbol of hope is a complete loss.
This truck is not drivable. It's got a flat tire over here, and it was found crashed in a ditch.
Stacy Cleveland is the family director of Vision House in Renton, a nonprofit that's been providing transitional housing for families dealing with homelessness for the last 34 years.
A pathway for them to come into a fully furnished transitional housing unit and start their lives fresh.
The nonprofit is working with more than 200 families right now, so it's not ideal to have its primary maintenance truck that helps fix any issues at the complexes out of commission after it was stolen earlier this month. A huge hit, costing thousands of dollars to replace.
$20,000 is a significant cost. I mean, we can furnish several new apartments for families with $20,000.
Staff say police found the truck totaled near Liberty High School a couple days after it was stolen. A Renton neighbor also shared this Ring video with us of what appears to be someone using the stolen truck to steal packages.
Just kind of an extra blow.
And this isn't the first time this nonprofit is dealing with heartbreak. About a year ago, someone broke into its garage, stealing $12,000 worth of equipment. Despite these major setbacks, Vision House is optimistic this community will help them bounce back.
We're grateful to their support, and I know they care just as much as we do about helping families have access to a healthy home.
In Renton, Brady Wakayama, King 5 News.
The Tacoma Police Department is partnering with community organizations to give away turkeys to families in need this week. They gave out 450 free turkeys this morning, and they've served 950 families this week. If you missed today's giveaway, we have one more opportunity on Monday. It starts at 6 p.m. at the People's Community Center on MLK Junior Way. It's a first-come, first-served basis, so you'll want to come early if you can to help out. And speaking of which, this holiday season, you can help people in need across Western Washington. Thanks to your generosity, we have raised more than 5.7 million meals so far during our biggest home food drive in the state, Home Team Harvest. Our goal is 24 million meals, and tomorrow morning is the big day. You can donate in person during our live special. It starts at 9 a.m. on King 5. We'll have our King 5 crews spread out across Western Washington. In Bothell, Tacoma, also at the Safeway in Seattle's Rainier Beach neighborhood. That's where I will be alongside Joyce Taylor. We'll also be at the Lumen Field area right before the Seahawks game, where you can enter to win a pair of Super Bowl tickets. All you have to do is bring some non-perishable food or donate. You can also donate right now by scanning the QR code that you see on your screen, or when you go to your local Safeway and Albertsons at the checkout counter, there's an area to download and donate there. We've been highlighting local food banks all month long. Still ahead, we'll take you to Maple Valley, where one organization has turned what was once a golf course into a farm that now feeds the community. We'll have that story coming up in 15 minutes.
I have to eat my pizza really fast at school.
How much time do your kids need to eat their lunch? The King 5 investigators discovered lunch periods may be shorter than you think. Also, a Seattle-based company is working to reduce post-election waste, how you can recycle your campaign signs for free. And Leah Pizzetti is tracking more rain on the way. We'll have details in your first alert forecast coming right up.
She was only 12 years old. What happened to her?
I think I found a body.
Obviously shocking because I'm on a missing persons page.
Small fire had broken out. He was nowhere to be seen.
She did not show up to work.
Destroy the evidence. How can they destroy the evidence? Not knowing is hard.
She's out there somewhere.
This case would be solved in 5 minutes.
Some people give up hope, but I can't.
We need to find her.
Unsolved Northwest. Stream now on King 5 Plus.
I think it's pretty easy to see that our sports department is loaded with experience. We have a combined 100 years plus covering Seattle sports. I'll be honest with you, when I first got to Seattle, I thought I was going to be 3 and out. But when I got here and I started developing a bit of a foothold, man, everything changed because you're at all the big events. You're everywhere where sports fans want to be. To hear people tell me that I have the coolest job on the planet, I absolutely agree.
I've lived here almost 25 years. I think that just about makes me a local. My wife and I found our little piece of happiness here in the North Sound with its music, its mountains, and its microbrews, and we decided to call it home. My mom was a waitress almost her entire life. It was a tough life. I remember she'd often tell me if she had it to do all over again, she'd be a journalist. That was it. That's what set me on this path. Hey guys, Eric Wilkinson here. High Tech Hobby. Hey, Eric Wilkinson, King 5 News. I've had the privilege of speaking with people all across the Pacific Northwest and telling their stories. Sometimes those stories we have to tell are pretty sad. Some reporters shy away from that sort of thing, but I see people who need help. The storms, the floods, the accidents. In those stories, I see my neighbors, my community. If I can shine just a little bit of light into that darkness, I'm doing my job. I'm Eric Wilkinson, and I stand for truth.
This election night, choose King 5 Plus. Get real-time results as they come in and in-depth analysis from the experts. From Washington, D.C. to right here in Washington State. Every key race, every critical issue, and how it impacts your community. Stay informed every step of the way with King 5 special election night coverage. Live updates on Washington State results start at 8 p.m. right here on King 5 Plus.
A Seattle-based company is making sure as much waste stays out of the landfill as possible and targeting a very specific item right now. King 5's meteorologist Leah Pizzetti shows us the efforts to recycle as many campaign signs as possible.
There are certain things that can be recycled, but it's really hard to figure out how. So Seattle-based company Ridwell is doing the heavy lifting. It started with a father-son duo at home, and since 2018, Ridwell has kept 25 million pounds of trash out of landfills by picking up those pesky items from subscribers' doorsteps.
It's grown tremendously since those early days when it was just us in a one-car garage.
CEO and founder Ryan Metzger says they typically collect things like candy wrappers, batteries, light bulbs, and plastic wrapping. And now that the election is over, campaign signs as well.
People had many of these sitting outside their yard, and to me it's a symbol of kind of single use, because you have it out there for a month or so, and then the election's over. What do you do with it? And
Ridwell estimates tens of millions of signs were created this election year. Ryan says the metal posts and the plastic board are recyclable, but can't go in curbside recycling, so they have to go to a specialty recycling facility. So as Ridwell is doing pickup for their year-round customers,
all right, let's find our address here.
They're also offering to pick up signs from everyone.
Put these in
and properly recycle
in the truck,
all of the signs.
And we'll move on to our next stop pretty quickly. Add these to our yard sign pile. There we go.
Longtime customers like Pia, thankful for the help.
It's really wonderful to know that I'm not adding to, the trash that is piling up in the world.
Ryan says he knows these free pickups won't save all signs from a landfill, but they'll do what they can.
If we can get 20,000 of them, that's a start. And then maybe next election season, in 2 years or whenever, maybe we can get 50,000 and then 100. Things really, as we saw just from our founding, you start with 5 batteries in a neighborhood, and then you're at 25 million pounds. So with campaign yard signs, we hope it kind of works the same way.
This is the first time they're offering this sign pickup service to non-members, but pickups do start this Monday, and you do have to get your address registered, so Ridwell recommends getting your information entered by Monday to make sure you get in on these pickups. For information on how to get that and how to sign up, you can text the word signs to 206-448-4545, and we'll send you a link right now.
That's a great idea. All right, take a look at this. We haven't seen a rainbow in quite some time because it's been just so windy and pouring rain. A double rainbow could be seen near the I-90 bridge over Lake Washington this afternoon. And Leah, you're tracking more rain, chilly temperatures heading our way for tomorrow, especially heads up to anybody going to the Seahawks game. It's going to be a little bit of a wet one.
Yeah, but hey, look, at the end of the rainbow, we found you.
Oh, thanks.
See that?
It's very kind of you.
You're a pot of gold.
Thank you.
Yeah, more rainbow potential tomorrow because we will have that rain and we will have a little bit of sun mixed in. That's the story the next couple of days is these spotty showers and cooler temperatures as well. You just mentioned it. Here are our current temperatures right now. We are in the 40s for most of us in Western Washington. This is about the warmest we'll get tomorrow. So what you're feeling right now, those are our daytime highs for tomorrow. We are trending cooler than where we were at this time yesterday. On average, down about 5 degrees or so, but Puyallup down 11 degrees compared to this time yesterday. So we're on this cooling trend. We've seen it from yesterday to today, and we're going to continue that trend as we head into tomorrow. And for tomorrow, we're going to bring back better chances for rain for more people. Today we saw those showers isolated to the Olympic Peninsula, like I already showed you. But as we head into tomorrow, we're going to move some showers into the Puget Sound area. So here's a look at overnight tonight. This is just after midnight, and we see that rain pushing in from the south up to the north. It looks like we'll see some semi-widespread rain around Puget Sound overnight tonight. Then as we progress into tomorrow morning, this is 10 a.m. here. We'll see that moisture continuing from the south to the north. So southern areas are going to see more rain. And at this point, we'll also bring some snow back into the equation. We'll lower snow levels, so it looks like all of our passes will get some good snow tomorrow. I'll show you accumulations in just a moment. We'll taper things off into the evening. This is 5 p.m. here, and we still have some spotty showers, but same thing favoring our southern communities. And then as we head into overnight tomorrow night, then we'll get another push for that overnight rain. So much more rain and snow tomorrow compared to what we have seen today. For snow totals, it's actually looking like we'll get a good amount of snow, anywhere from about half a foot of snow to upwards of a foot of snow for our southern mountains. Baker, you'll probably not get as much because we're going to keep a lot of that moisture down to the south. And for our rain totals for tomorrow, same situation. Southern areas are going to see higher totals, anywhere from about 1/4 to 1/3 of an inch of rain. But as you push up to the north, it will be much more minimal, likely just in the hundredths to upward 1/10 of an inch of rain. And then over the Olympic Peninsula, it's a similar recipe. So much more wet tomorrow than what we saw today, and cooler as well. Here's a look at our observed temperatures from today. Bellingham, SeaTac, Olympia, all right around that 50-degree threshold. That's normal for this time of year. We're right on track with average. But as we head into tomorrow, we are going to be cooling things to below average. Here's a look at our expected highs for tomorrow. Most of us around the Sound will be in the mid-40s. Very few of us hitting that 50-degree threshold. And as we look to the mountains, we're going to be much cooler as well. Stevens staying below freezing all day long. So if you are heading out to the Seahawks game tomorrow, I would be ready for rain. It does look like we'll see those shower chances pushing in throughout our early afternoon hours with those temperatures staying in the 40s. So it will be chilly and it will be damp, but hey, hopefully it'll be a good game. As we head into Monday, we'll hold on to some decreasing showers. This is early Monday morning, and then we'll start to taper off, but we'll still hold on to some hit and miss showers on Monday. So really tomorrow's our wettest day. Then we're actually going to be drying out as we head into the end of the week. Looks like Thanksgiving, we'll hold on to dry weather, but cold. Check that out. Lows in the 30s, highs in the 40s.
Leah, thank you. As people clean up their yards after Tuesday's storm, King County is waiving all yard waste fees at certain transfer stations. You can drop it off at Bow Lake, Cedar Falls, Enumclaw, Factoria, Shoreline, and Vashon facilities. The free service is only for wood debris from the storm. Stumps, logs, tree limbs less than 6 feet long are allowed. Grass clippings, sod, and soil are not. The city of Bellevue is also letting people put out extra yard waste at no additional cost. Starting on Monday until December 6th, Republic Services will collect up to 6 32-gallon units on regular collection days.
Food is love. Food is culture. Food is family.
A Maple Valley farm is providing fresh, culturally relevant food to the community. How volunteers are helping fight food insecurity across Western Washington.
I love watching King 5 mornings because I love who they are as people. You're getting more than just your weather and your traffic.
Jake and Mimi are great at connecting with their audience.
I've been watching Rich since I started watching the news. And now when she watches TV, she'll say, there's Shantae.
Shantae does a great job of reporting where the traffic is.
They know the information that I want, and they're great to watch.
I trust them, and they're part of my family.
King 5 Mornings. Watch or stream free.
I'm Lori Matsukawa. Washington's general election is Tuesday, November 5th. If you haven't registered to vote yet, there's still time to make your voice heard. Register in person at a county elections office or voting center until 8 p.m. Election Day, November 5th. Find voting center locations at votewa.gov. That's votewa.gov. Secure your vote. Register today.
King 5's First Alert Weather Team, your trusted weather source for Western Washington.
Alerting you before the next big thing happens and how it could impact your plans.
With us, you'll know exactly how to prepare. No hype, just a helpful heads up.
Our weather can turn quickly, and we're always tracking the latest changes.
So if it looks severe or just inconvenient, follow us for that first alert.
Get a clear forecast with First Alert Weather, only on King 5 News. Kraken Hockey. like you've never experienced before. Every week, Paul Sylvie dives deep into the heart of the game, featuring one-on-one interviews with head coach Dan Bilesma, mic'd up segments from the ice, and player profiles you won't see anywhere else.
It's going to be awesome.
Kraken Home Ice, Saturdays at 10:30, right here on King 5 Plus. Sponsored by Primera Blue Cross, always in your corner.
I was born and raised in the Pacific Northwest, and the stories here matter. King 5 News at 5 is my chance to connect with you in a more personal way. We won't just break down the big stories, we will give you the backstory with people and interviews you won't see anywhere else. I have spent more than half my life here at King 5, more than 35 years, and I hope you know by now that if it's a story you care about, I care about it too.
Our Home Team Harvest campaign continues on a golf course turned farm. Elk Run Farm is growing thousands of pounds of produce each year to support 12 South King County food banks. King 5's Farah Jadran takes us to Maple Valley to meet the volunteers and high school students who are hard at work.
There's no spreading. There's just fill your wheelbarrow, walk on down. Yeah, you're volunteering for that. You're like, yes, on it.
While some students are in the classroom, the students in Tahoma High School's plant science class are learning directly from the land at Elk Run Farm.
They're learning everything. They're learning how to use tools properly. They're learning how to work as a team.
I can see them when they get here and they smell that fresh air and they have their feet on the ground and their hands in the dirt. They just kind of start to relax.
Cooper Provo is a former student and intern turned volunteer. Seeing the Maple Valley Farm's mission in action keeps him coming back.
In the internship program, we actually visited one of the food banks in White Center and kind of handed out fresh produce, and it felt really good.
The farm is owned and operated by the South King County Food Coalition. Nearing its 10th growing season, the mainly volunteer crew is nearing 10,000 pounds of donated produce for 2024. Next year, they hope to deliver 12,000 pounds of fresh produce to 12 food banks, serving some of the region's most diverse communities.
We know that we can't feed everyone, but we want to provide that nutritious, culturally relevant food to those food banks, the foods that really not only feed people's body, but help feed their hearts and their souls.
We had some women from Ukraine recently, and they saw our bed of sorrel, which honestly, I don't eat sorrel. I didn't really know the right way to grow it and harvest it, and I really thought a couple of them were going to cry. They were so happy to see it.
Being on par with what the community needs has always been part of the Elk Run Farm story. The former Elk Run golf course transformed into a fruitful farm in 2015. There are no unwanted divots here. Every fruit, veggie, and herb harvested will soon become part of a family's meal and perhaps make Western Washington feel more like home.
Food is love. Food is culture. Food is family.
With your help, King 5 is working to raise 24 million meals for a Home Team Harvest campaign. You can donate right now by scanning that QR code on your screen or go to your local Safeway in Albertsons. You can also donate in person during a live special tomorrow morning. Starts at 9 a.m. on King 5. We'll have our King 5 crews in Bothell, Tacoma, and Seattle's Rainier Beach neighborhood, also at Lumen Field before the Seahawks game.
What was the shortest time you had to eat lunch?
I think that might have been 8 minutes and 21 seconds.
8 minutes. That's how long some students have to eat lunch during school. Tonight, a King 5 investigation reveals kids are rushing through meals, and it could be hurting their health. Also, a chant Christmas lights are up at T-Mobile Park for the first time in 4 years. We were there for opening night as hundreds experienced the magic.
And it is great for another season.
Hey, fire it up! Keep it going! And King 5 is all over it!
I didn't start out doing race and equity reporting, but the moment I realized that
representation was so important was when I was covering a teacher strike, and one of the parents came up to me, and she was an Asian mom with an Asian son. She said that watching you really gave my son the idea that that was something that he could do. I was floored. And I just thought that was incredible, that this impact that I can have, not just as a reporter who is on air, but then the content that we're putting out. By putting more folks who are normally not represented on mainstream media, that really does make a difference, and we will do our best to do you right, and we don't take your trust lightly.
I loved playing sports as a kid. I played everything. My dad was my soccer coach. I was playing pickleball in the 80s before anybody even knew about the sport. The great thing about sports is you don't know how it's going to end. I have been with Olympic athletes at the highest of highs when they win a gold medal. I was in that locker room when the Seahawks lost a Super Bowl. I've seen the high moments and the low moments. I've seen it from the professionals down to the high school kids, down to the peewees. And that's what I love about my job, is that every day is so different. I was told early on, make the big time where you're at. So when I go to a high school event, I treat it like it's a Super Bowl. I treat it like it's Game 7 of the World Series, because I owe it to those kids, because this is their World Series. This is their Super Bowl. If they're on the air for 30 seconds that night on King 5 and they got the entire family down in the living room watching, I want to give them everything I got for at least those 30 seconds, if not more.
Check this out.
There's a story you'll only see on King 5 News at 6:30 with the most exclusive content.
This is years in the making.
Wait a minute. Destroy the evidence? How can they destroy the evidence?
Here I am having to suffer due to some racism. King 5 was dead on with their reporting.
Only on King 5 News at 6:30. Stream free on King 5 Plus.
Kids can't learn on an empty stomach, but as King 5's investigators reveal, students in many school districts may be getting shorted on their lunches. Chris Ingalls reports on the school lunch crunch, the shrinking lunch periods in many Washington schools.
At this Everett home, the school day is over. And an after-school routine begins for mom, Amber Ortega.
Do you already have a snack?
It's not homework or TV time. Every day after school, she needs to feed her hungry kids.
How was lunch?
I had to eat my pizza really fast at school.
6th grader Rose, who is 11,
But I'm mostly used to it.
and her 8-year-old sister, Mabel.
You only had time to eat your sandwich? What else did you have that you wanted to eat?
Applesauce.
Don't have time to finish their lunches at school, according to mom.
When my kids come home and complain about not being able to finish their lunch, it usually always just boils down to not having enough time.
It isn't just one family. On an Everett School's Facebook page, parents called the short lunch hours ridiculous, frustrating, and chaos and bananas. Do you get enough time to eat your lunch?
Not really. I usually get like 5, 6, or 10 minutes.
Mabel has to stand in line, eat her food, and clean up during a 20-minute lunch period. Experts say that's not long enough.
And what our research shows is that when kids have 20-minute lunch periods, they eat significantly less of their lunch on average compared with kids that have longer lunch periods.
Dr. Juliana Cohen is a nutrition researcher and Harvard professor who studies school lunch times. Her team visits lunchrooms and uses stopwatches to calculate seat time.
They're there measuring how much time do kids actually have to eat their lunch. When kids have longer lunch periods, they go back to the classroom more refreshed and more able to learn.
I have a stopwatch here, Rose. I gave this to you a couple weeks ago. And what did you do with it?
Once I sat down at lunch at school, I would start the stopwatch.
With that stopwatch ticking, Rose measured her seat time at Evergreen Middle School, where the lunch period for her 6th grade class is only 15 minutes long.
And then stop it whenever a teacher said 2-minute warning for cleaning up. So it would show how long I got to sit and eat lunch.
What was the shortest time you had to eat lunch?
I think that might have been 8 minutes and 21 seconds.
8 minutes and 21 seconds to eat lunch? Was that long enough?
No.
Over 2 weeks, Rose's seat time at lunch averaged 10 minutes and 22 seconds a day.
I was a little bit surprised of how short it was.
We'd be welcome to hire her as part of our research team. Sounds like she's an expert as well.
Do you want mashed potatoes and gravy?
Dr. Cohen encourages schools to push their seat time to a minimum of 25 minutes, which usually means a 30-minute lunch period. But we uncovered how rare that is. The King 5 investigators surveyed 31 school districts in Western Washington. Schools, even in the same district, have varying lengths of lunchtime. We recorded the shortest. Schools in 5 districts have at least 25 to 30-minute lunches. 5 other school districts, including Kent and Tacoma, didn't respond to our repeated requests. 19 school districts have lunches as short as 20 minutes, mostly in elementary schools. And Stanwood, Camano, and Everett have the shortest, only 15-minute lunches in some schools.
Our 6th grade class here at Gateway this year is bigger than it has been.
Matt Bennett is principal at Gateway Middle in Everett, where the 6th grade class is so large, the lunch period is split into 2 15-minute sessions.
So half the students will have free time while half the students eat, and then they switch.
Do you think kids have enough time to eat in your school?
I do. We still manage to get through all of our students, and they have ample time to buy their food and eat their food before that free time.
How do you respond to that?
Especially with 20-minute lunch periods, those kids at the end of the lunch line, we often see they have 5 minutes or less to eat lunch.
You're welcome.
Administrators in some districts admit to us they're now having a harder time scheduling lunches, especially in elementary schools, where a new state rule requires 30 minutes of recess a day. Lunch is the one period administrators can bend to fit schedules.
There's always food getting thrown away and wasted.
There's one other thing that Rose tracked for us: the food that kids didn't have time to eat. Things like strawberries, grapes, apple slices.
I would mostly see a lot of fruits or vegetables, mostly the things that people won't want to eat as much.
All the nutritious food got thrown out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That means carefully designed and costly healthy school lunch programs are getting trashed.
That was Chris Ingalls reporting. The King 5 investigators are dedicated to serving the public interest through watchdog journalism. If you would like to submit a tip to our team, email investigators@king5.com. The Seattle Mayor's office confirms it will make a decision on a new police chief by the end of the year. Sources tell King 5 interim police chief Sue Rahr narrowed down a list of several candidates earlier this month, and Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell is in the process of reviewing those candidates. The move comes after former police chief Adrian Diaz was reassigned after several current employees filed lawsuits against him and SPD. Seattle Public Schools will hold a special meeting next Tuesday, the 26th, to discuss a proposal to close 4 Seattle elementary schools. According to the meeting agenda, the only item on it is the move to table the plan, which would have seen schools close as early as next fall. This means the board will not move forward with public hearings about the closures. SCA Airport is bracing for a holiday rush. Next Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving, is expected to be the busiest, with 172,000 people making their way through. The Saturday after Thanksgiving will also be busy. It's about a week from now, 166,000 expected travelers. A reminder, SeaTac Spot Saver is open now through next Wednesday. You can download their app and reserve a time to go through security by skipping the line. Remember, Checkpoint 5 is shut down for renovations. That's the one mostly on the right side of the airport. It will be closed for a year, meaning passengers are sent to checkpoints 2 and 3 unless you have pre-check. If you're flying Alaska, the airline's new check-in area is ready. Alaska passengers can handle ticketing and bag drop in this space with more technology to make the process move more quickly.
We are a week out from Thanksgiving, and TSA is expecting a potentially record-breaking holiday travel season.
Weather delays and high passenger volumes are expected to impact trips across the country. Forecasts show potential major storms hitting on the busiest travel days of the year. Shaquille Brewster reports.
Tonight, parts of the West Coast underwater as another round of unrelenting rain and heavy snow hit states from California to Colorado.
We're always on alert. Came up much faster than I've ever seen.
The record-setting system swelling rivers and triggering mudslides. In Sonoma County, California, floodwaters forcing rescues. Authorities say one person was found dead in a car this morning.
You see water, turn around, there's always another way you can go.
Across wine country, some vineyard fields completely washed out. NBC News meteorologist Chase Kane is there.
Here in Northern California, they got 5 months worth of rain in just 4 days. That sent the Russian River spilling out of its banks and flooding this RV park and mobile home community. And some people weren't able to get their vehicles and homes out of the way in time.
In Washington state, customers warned some will be in the dark until Monday after storms with hurricane-force winds earlier this week knocked out power to more than 100,000 people. On the other side of the country, New Jersey digging out from one of its largest November snowstorms in history, previewing more severe weather expected for the week of Thanksgiving.
And Wednesday is the day that we are concerned about it.
A new system that could sweep across the country, threatening snow, strong storms, and heavy rain. A forecast set to clash with the nearly 80 million people expected to get away for Thanksgiving. In Chicago, William Edwards and his family started their trip early, hoping to avoid the worst crowds.
Everybody knows the day before Thanksgiving is the busiest travel day of the year, man.
So you're avoiding that right now?
Yes, for sure. I'll be on the beach.
That was Shaquille Brewster reporting. The forecast right now indicates a potential storm crossing the Rockies and Plains on Wednesday. That could bring rain and snow to the eastern third of the country on the Thanksgiving holiday, which will impact travel for tens of millions of people. The Kraken take on the Kings in Los Angeles. Highlights from today's match with Seattle down a captain.
Our kids are loving it. We want them to feel the magic.
And it's the return of a holiday tradition. We were at T-Mobile Park as families experience the magic of Enchant Christmas on opening night.
Kraken hockey like you've never experienced before. Kraken home ice right here on King 5 Plus. Sponsored by Primera Blue Cross.
I saw a man that needed help, and I knew I had to do something.
I was in the middle of a golf swing on the third hole. The heart just decided to stop beating.
I was trained in CPR about 50 years ago. Never had to use it. For some reason, it all just came back to me.
I do fully understand that I've been given a new lease on life.
Get out and learn CPR because you never know when it's going to come in handy.
How is King 5 News different? We tell meaningful stories.
That is my wife in that building. Families reached out to us.
We give issues context.
People are trying to bully us so they can control this market.
We give everyone a voice.
We want proactiveness.
We spotlight new ideas.
It makes it important that we come together.
We look for solutions every day.
We should have called you first.
That's how. We stand for truth.
Jake and Mimi are great at connecting with their audience.
Watching them just makes you feel good.
They know the information that I need for the day.
I trust them, and they're part of my family.
King 5 Mornings. Watch or stream free. When the game ends, the fifth quarter begins. King 5 Sports Director Paul Sylvie, Hall of Famer Walter Jones, and the voice of the Seahawks, Steve Rabel.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Analyzing all the action, diving into post-game player interviews, and gearing up for the next game, the fifth quarter after Sunday Night Football. Only on King 5, the official home of the Seahawks. Sponsored by Chevy Colorado. This election night, choose King 5 Plus. Get real-time results as they come in and in-depth analysis from the experts. From Washington, D.C. to right here in Washington State. Every key race, every critical issue, and how it impacts your community. Stay informed every step of the way with King 5 special election night coverage. Live updates on Washington State results start at 8 p.m. right here on King 5 Plus.
I get to feel the snow, and we don't have snow down where I live.
We're just stoked to be out here. Doesn't matter if it's wet, some fresh snow, being on a chairlift, it feels good.
Skiers and snowboarders are enjoying their first weekend of the season on the slopes. Yesterday, Crystal Mountain saw the best snow conditions for opening day in 5 years. Mount Baker and White Pass are also open. Summit, Snoqualmie, and Stevens Pass hope to open December 6th, depending on snowfall. And more is on the way. Let's take a look here. Stevens Pass has seen about 2.5 feet of new snow over the past week. Taking a live look at the courtyard right now. So it's piling up and they're hoping to open very soon, as well as Snoqualmie. A lot of people excited to get out there because, again, 'tis the season to dust them off and get ready to get on the slopes.
It is. And you know what? A week ago when I was looking at this week, I thought this is going to be a big week for snow. Here we go. We got those opening dates. And I do think that, especially with tomorrow's snow, we'll get a little more clarity for those places that are still waiting on expected days. Yeah. So let's take it to Leavenworth, another place that we love to watch with snow. And it does look like we have a little bit of snow there still sticking piled up on the sides of the sidewalks, but it also does look a little bit wet there on the pavements. But hey, our lights are on. It is starting to look a lot like Christmas, even though we're not even at Thanksgiving yet. As we take a look forward, our snow levels are going to stay right around Snoqualmie Pass. So it does look like with this little bit of moisture that's sticking around Sunday into Monday, we'll add on some more snow accumulations for the passes. So that'll be welcome news for our resorts. It's going to favor our southern communities, though. I'll show you that in a minute. But first, let's take a big picture look at the next couple of days. We do have some rain chances that are sticking around through about Monday, but then we're actually going to settle into a period of dry weather as we head into midweek. So let's take a closer look at that. Overnight tonight, we're going to push some showers in from the south. It was a pretty dry day today, but we're going to change that tonight. So we'll see some rain filling in. Most of this is going to fall overnight as we're all sleeping. But then as we head into tomorrow, this is tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., we are going to kick some showers, same pattern in from the south. So our southern communities are going to see more rain than our northern communities. Check this out. We'll also get some nice mountain snow tomorrow. Like I just showed you, we'll be just below Snoqualmie Pass, so I am expecting, especially for our southern ski resorts, we'll see some good mountain snow tomorrow. Throughout the day, we'll hold on to spotty showers. This is a look at 5 p.m. We've started to taper off, but we will still hold on to that rain, especially down south and especially over those southern mountains for the snow. Then into tomorrow late night, this is early Monday morning, we'll bring in a little bit more rain for us, widespread rain. Snow totals looking pretty good, especially for our southern mountains. Anywhere from half a foot to a foot of snow. Baker, Hurricane Ridge, you're not looking at quite as much. We're going to keep it mostly for those southern Cascades. Rain totals, a similar pattern. We'll see highest totals down to the south, lowest totals up to the north. So for our southern communities, anywhere from about a quarter to a third of an inch of rain. Isolated areas up to a half an inch of rain. Temperatures are going to continue their cool down for tomorrow. So let's take a look at our expected highs for the day. Many of us in the 40s. We see that up to the north. It's looking like mid to upper 40s for those daytime highs. Same thing pushing a little bit farther south. Snohomish County peaking in the mid to upper 40s. Same thing for all of our island communities. Kitsap Peninsula, King County, mid to upper 40s on tap for tomorrow. Farther south, Pierce and Thurston counties, I sound like a broken record, same drill. We're in those mid to upper 40s. Just north of the Oregon border, also looking at cool temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. There you go. Not any of us really hitting that 50-degree threshold. So it is going to be a chilly day tomorrow. We'll hold on to some lingering showers into Monday, but then we'll dry things out as we head into the Thanksgiving holiday. We'll see actually dry weather, but temperatures are going to stay on the cool side. Highs in the mid 40s.
The King 5 Sports Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Stream live sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff.
Conference championships won't be played for another 2 weeks, but not in the Pac-2. That unofficial championship gets settled right here, right now, as Washington State takes on Oregon State in Corvallis. John Mateer and the Cougs coming out of the halftime break down 7. He sidearms one to Kyle Williams, who gets a great block to get a full field ahead, and then speed kills. No one can catch up to Williams. He gets the equalizer. The two teams trade scores. The Beavers back up late in the third, but here comes Mateer, the quarterback keeper. His second of the game, bodies his way across the goal line to tie it back up. Fourth quarter all square until Buda Al-Ukta jumps the pass. He's all alone en route to the end zone despite a half attempt by the quarterback. A pick six for the go-ahead touchdown. Final 3 minutes, Ben Gilbertson zips one in for Darius Clemens, tied back up at 38 all. Cougs get the ball back with the final 2 minutes and a chance for the win, but Kyle Williams coughs up the ball. Beavs recover. They march down the field, and Everett Hayes knocks through a 55-yard field goal. This right here, the nail in the coffin. Oregon State ends a 5-game losing streak with a 41-38 win, and the fans storm the field.
obviously a back and forth contest. I felt great about having the ball there at the end. I didn't really feel like they could stop us. And one play doesn't win or lose a game. That's what I told these guys. Okay, one play doesn't win or lose a game, but there's a microcosm of some undisciplined play and execution, right, that hurt us, especially early in the game. So, but I am proud of our football team. These guys have no quit in them. I'm proud to be their coach, and we fell short tonight.
The Kraken suffered a demoralizing loss yesterday when they learned they wouldn't have their captain on the ice until late February. But little did they know that would only be the first demoralizing loss of the weekend. Joey Decord, coming off his first shutout of the season earlier this week, having a pretty good season overall, but without any offensive support, these will hurt. Second period, Adrian Kempe wrists one over the stick of Decord for the opening goal. Less than 2 minutes later, Kings on the power play. Kevin Fiala with a give and go to Quinton Byfield, and Byfield works those angles, sneaks one in behind Decord and the pipes. Kraken can't get anything going on power plays of their own, 0 for 3. But they do have the man advantage with the empty net. Too little too late, I'm afraid. Only 94 seconds remaining. Brandon Montour still breaks up the shutout with a ripper from the blue line. His 6th of the season. He's second on the team with 14 points. But the sluggish performance slays the Kraken. Kings win 2-1.
All around, I thought every guy in there in our room, has better and can play better. Myself included. So
we're going to have to beat these guys to get in, at the end. So I thought our energy level kind of, for the most part, all game wasn't there. And again, how close we're going to be right to the end, I think we've got to bring a better effort.
Don't forget to catch Kraken home ice tonight at 10:30 on Kong. Coach Dan Bilesma talked about the rise of goalie Joey Decord. Plus, Kraken broadcaster Eddie Olczyk talked about his battle with cancer. That's tonight on Kraken home ice. Big day in high school football. It's the second day of quarterfinals. We'll start with a big battle between two of the top teams in 3A. Eastside Catholic hosting Lincoln of Tacoma. Crusaders leading 3-0. Quarterback Isaac Corey airs it out downfield for Asa Thompson. The high point is true. That sets up this run here for Jeremiah Burrows. The lead back takes it 20 yards to the house and hits the Aretha Franklin in the end zone. Later, Corey going for the home run ball in this next play. Burrows can't get away from the defender, and Ramon Jones Jr. comes up with the pick, but the Crusaders get the last word. Eastside Catholic wins 27. Bellevue hosting Kennewick in a rematch of the 2021 title game, but this Wolverine team is nothing to mess with, especially the run game. Reichen Moon hits the gap, hits the gas, and he's gone. 1 of 3 touchdowns on the day, nearly 200 yards on the ground. He was flanked by Max Jones, who had 27 rushes for 176 yards in this score. Bellevue runs away with it 42-6. Roosevelt hosting Seattle Prep, and the Prep gets on the board with a dive across the goal line by Ezra Maul. But the Panthers were mauled in this one. Roosevelt running back Damari King with a little spin move into the end zone. Then the Panthers try to get moving again, but Bo Oaksmith is chased down by Malachi Davis, and the ball is loose. Pana Tupatala scoops it up, and he's brought down inside the end zone for the scoop and score. Roosevelt rolls on to win 49-21. Chiawana hosting Lake Stevens out in the Tri-Cities. Lake Stevens quarterback Colton Matson calls his own number. Watch this juke and the vicious stiff arm. Little boy's him. He barrels his way down to the 1-yard line. That's a big boy play right there. He finishes the drive with a snipe to Kikoya Ikuyama, but they fall 48-21 to Chiawana. A lot of really good action in the high school realm. A lot of really back and forth good stuff with Washington State and Oregon State. The Cougs just can't get it done.
Such a bummer. I know. So many people were watching that to the last moment.
It was a last second game.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, go Cougs anyways. Thank you. We'll be right back.
The King 5 Sports Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Stream live sports from the best seat in the house with Xfinity. Bring on the good stuff. This election night, choose King 5 Plus. Get real-time results as they come in and in-depth analysis from the experts. From Washington, D.C. to right here in Washington State. Every key race, every critical issue, and how it impacts your community. Stay informed every step of the way with King 5 special election night coverage. Live updates on Washington State results start at 8 p.m. right here on King 5 Plus.
I'm Lori Matsukawa. Washington's general election is Tuesday, November 5th. If you haven't registered to vote yet, there's still time to make your voice heard. Register in person at a county elections office or voting center until 8 p.m. Election Day, November 5th. Find voting center locations at votewa.gov. That's votewa.gov. Secure your vote. Register today.
Kraken hockey like you've never experienced before. Kraken home ice right here on King 5 Plus. Sponsored by Primera Blue Cross.
I love watching King 5 mornings because I love who they are as people. You're getting more than just your weather and your traffic.
Jake and Mimi are great at connecting with their audience.
I've been watching Rich since I started watching the news. And now when she watches TV, she'll say, there's Shantae.
Shantae does a great job of reporting where the traffic is.
They know the information that I want, and they're great to watch.
I trust them, and they're part of my family.
King 5 Mornings. Watch or stream free.
She was only 12 years old. What happened to her?
I think I found a body. Obviously shocking because I'm on a missing persons page. Small fire had broken out. He was nowhere to be seen.
She did not show up to work.
Destroy the evidence. How can they destroy the evidence? Not knowing is hard.
She's out there somewhere.
This case will be solved in 5 minutes.
Some people give up hope, but I can't.
We need to find her.
Unsolved Northwest. Stream now on King 5 Plus.
Let's take a live look towards T-Mobile Park, where the stadium has transformed into a holiday paradise. Inside the ballpark is the world's largest Christmas light maze, an ice skating trail, live entertainment, and much more. It's available through the end of December. Our photojournalist, Louis Sierra, takes us inside the ballpark to show us what you can expect this year.
It's very eye-opening the second you see it. It's hard not to want to take pictures of everything. This is our first time being here, so just seeing how everything was set up, all the lights, it was amazing.
Well, it's a blue whale. We've got a lot of family with us, and we were just trying to kick off the holidays.
Very surprised at how beautiful and large it is.
And our kids are loving it. We want them to feel the magic. Lights and more lights, and it's just magic.
That was excellent. I feel that.
Didi, chow, chow, chow. Whoa, Naya bean. So we're trying to start a new tradition. Yeah.
Bring the kids, bring the family, bring the old folks. Come down, check it out. Take it all in. Holiday season.
And make sure your kids nap.
How magical. Even if you get stuck in the maze, it's like, oh, this is fine.
I don't know about you guys, but I've just been watching it out the window, just for the past 2 days, just being like, oh man, I just wish I could be over there.
It's magical. I need a kid to borrow and take.
I did.
Or I guess you don't.
I was like, that's one way to do it.
You are a kid.
You could just go.
You could just borrow me. We could just go over there.
Go?
Honestly, I kind of look like a kid half the time too. So yeah, all right. Have a great rest of the night. We're gonna go over there.
We'll see you later, everybody. We're back at 10 and 11, but we want to close you out with a little bit of weather too.
All right, one more check of our forecast. Hey, you guys, this is our last full week of November. Isn't that hard to believe? It's crazy, and we're going to keep things cool. Showers will return tomorrow. Stay dry at the Seahawks game.
Oh yeah, that's going to be a good one tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. We're back at 10 and 11 on King 5. See you then.